Why, Bartholomew, what made you drag me all the way to your apartment in this lovely 40-degree May weather?
Yeah, we've gone back in time a few months.
In the rain.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's something wonderful that you have to show me.
It's because I got my second shot today, so if I pass out in the middle of this, you can man the controls. I'm passed out there, you're just that's a funny clip.
No, I'm basically just gonna shut that laptop and be like, alright, Lloyd, enjoy his corpse, and then we'll outside.
Then you won't know what to do if I actually turn into one of the monsters from the movie. It says the greatest of all time.
See? That's not a movie title. That's a movie genre. That's an idea. Ape versus monster.
Oh. There's more than one idea in this movie. I actually saw this movie a few weeks ago.
Like, that's what a studio executive says. Like, I want to make an ape versus monster movie.
Perfect.
What should we call it? Ape versus monster? You're a genius!
Sir, you just answered your own question. This works out, because I don't know if Kong versus Godzilla is still in theaters now. But this one, right from the comfort of your own home. And since it's been a few weeks since I watched this might be like, this might be like ruining my own day all over again. Actually, not really, because this movie was kind of fun. I mean, the tagline said the greatest of all time.
So just to recap, you and Doug get to see Cruella, which apparently you two kind of like.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
And I have to see this.
Okay, Cruella's the better movie. Cruella's the better movie. This one slightly above some expectations that I had. Look at the budget in the opening
credits. And what were your expectations? Nothing.
Oh, not that they'd have actual, like...
Oh, it's an actual Asylum film.
Yes, okay. And, like, I'm assuming none of this is stock footage and that it's totally real and it got the approval of NASA.
So is this Planet of the Apes versus Planet of the Monsters?
It's barely one ape or one monster in this movie. It is one of those Asylum movies where there's a lot of talking throughout it to kind of pad it out a bit. But when these things show up, man, there's some pretty good like money kills in this, and it all has to do with this probe coming back down to Earth that was manned by a chimpanzee. Something happened along the way, probably involving radiation, to where it crashes back on Earth, and some kind of space slime. No, it was slime. It was the ooze that they found in space.
The secret of
that
the
makes
ooze.
the monsters.
All right.
I've lost visual.
That can only seem like a good thing. What?
Oh, pull! There should have been more than 5 of us. Oh! Oh no, she's got him.
That's PlayStation 2 quality.
He may be big, but one tranquilizer dart knocks him the hell out.
Wow.
It is a whole movie
Wow.
of character. I mean, I'm sure you see this sometimes in movies where characters in monster movies just won't have peripheral vision.
Yeah.
This is a whole movie.
No, clearly, because that dude just is like, what? And I'm just like, how could you not see the 40-foot tall ape in front of you?
And it's always somebody getting stepped on or just yanked on camera. The reason why the ape is so huge is because of space shit. The reason that the monster is because of ooze that was spilled out from the spaceship because it used to be an iguana.
Please tell me that's the scientific diagnosis too. Just what caused this? Spaceship.
I kind of zoned out in a lot of the dialogue scenes, and I think Eric Roberts did too, because he's in a lot of them.
They didn't drag poor Eric Roberts into this. She's not up for the challenge.
Here's where the monster shows up. I can't remember if someone gets snatched or stepped on.
You sure about that?
I think so.
Oh, he's right there. Oh, I was wrong! He was eaten! I was wrong on both counts.
How did the monster know he was there? Like, he came up and just, that was perfectly executed.
Because all of the peripheral vision that the humans don't have, it goes into the monsters.
The mutant power.
Yes, and the special effects of
the power of horseshit.
The special
Movie
effects.
does what it wants.
of the monster is better than the effects of the apes because it's the monster effects. He actually looks kind of like Zilla from '98 Godzilla, and so it's a spiritual sequel. The monster in this
spiritual
came from,
in the same way Satanism is spirituality.
The monster is one of those like effects that comes in like a package of effects. So So his effects are a little bit better than the apes and whatever they have.
So
then
what you're telling me is really the monster wins this battle. Because the effects are better.
We can't jump to the conclusion yet.
This is Dr. Linda Murphy of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. You have a passenger train heading.
You could have just said NASA.
Hello? Hello?
Something's interfering. The radio's dead. We gotta pull over.
Is that engineer blind? Brake,
You son of a bitch.
Brake!
Monster effects better than the train effects.
Yeah, honestly. They're not as bad as honestly I thought they were going to be.
I know, right?
I'm like, I mean, if I saw that in a PS3 game, it's alright.
Yeah, I love how their reaction to stuff like that. Afterwards, the guy who's sitting in there with the girl is like, "Oh man, that means we have to walk now."
Boy, you weren't kidding about the padding though. I work for the National Aeronautics Space, and I'm like, and I work for the Central Intelligence Agency, and I work for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and I was like, just
stretch it out to that 90 minutes.
Just cut. You can say the letters. It's an acronym. Like we know what you mean. You said NASA. We know what you mean.
Since it's been a few weeks since I've watched this, I'm trying to get clues from
Thank God there's no Nazis in here. They would have like spelled out the whole German nationalist.
That one you have to go to Nazis at the Center of the Earth. I think is the Asylum mockbuster on that.
Jesus! That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you, physics!
I was trying to. So I was looking at the way that since I watched this a few weeks ago, I'm looking at the label of some of these videos going, that one said step. I think someone gets stepped on in it. Sure enough, I was right, but I can't remember any context beyond that.
I cannot wait to see door.
Oh, okay.
Just
this one
door. That sounds like the most exciting thing you could come up with.
I remember this one because when the ape starts growing bigger, it's just kind of in reaction shots from people where you just have to trust them that the ape is getting bigger. And they're holding him in this containment room that has a door that looks like it's just like the janitor's closet in a high school or something like that.
Okay.
So it's very easy for the ape to come in and just snatch someone in there and slam the door behind them, despite he's like probably 50 foot tall at this point. No! Wait, what's that?
That was... I'm sorry. What an embarrassing way to die. Like, that was like Ed Woodworthy, where like the octopus didn't move.
Yeah.
So like Bela Lugosi had to like throw the tentacles over himself. I was like, that was like that. The door opens. I swear to God, the guy just fell forward on purpose. He's like, oh, look what happened by accident. Hope a giant ape doesn't snatch me up.
I love that they were so, even the ape.
That's going to be my out of
focused
context line for the day. Look what happened by accident. I hope a giant ape doesn't snatch me up.
Even the ape was so focused on the door, like the humans, and getting that door shut, but by the end of it, screw this door, and he just goes right through the wall. There are so many scenes of people just getting snatched off camera in this. Sometimes it's characters in a setting that pertains to the plot, like that one we just saw in the containment unit where they slam the door. Others, it's sequences that could be put anywhere in the movie and are just not characters in the film, where suddenly it'll cut to a random scene like this with a farmer, again, not noticing that among the crops is a giant monster.
Well, it's obviously one of the cows. He's up to no good. How did you not
You see, if he had only turned right, then or his left, yeah.
That's how he was directionally challenged, like you.
Exactly. Yeah. See, I would be. This is why I don't become a farmer. I have problems with directions and seeing
remember
monsters.
Remember the Hungry Hippo game? How it's just like...
Yeah.
it was like...
And I'm usually...
arm...
I'm usually like, what is that the monster's tongue? Is it his finger, his tail, his dick, depending on where you would watch this movie?
Nobody knows.
And some people
it is a mystery best left kept to the secrets of the universe.
The monsters kill so many people in this, but sometimes it's just people doing dumb shit that gets themselves killed in the climax that's in DC.
Oh, so it's Alien Covenant.
Yeah. There's a
That's
couple
what killed me.
scenes.
There's like a couple scenes in Alien Covenant where I'm just like, the alien didn't do that, you did. You're just a fucking klutz.
Oh, watch what happens to these poor bastards in the DC fight.
Blow him to smithereens, I say! I'll be
Little did we know.
Crushed by a giant phallus.
Little did we know until that moment that he was. Little did we know until that moment that they were right underneath the monument when it fell down.
That's hilarious. I just love that dude. Blow him to smithereens! Woo, yeah!
This is like a Foghorn Leghorn type character, like an old like.
I say what we have here is a failure to communicate with the giant ape. I say, listen up.
There's several scenes where he's like, "Well, what do you know, little missy? You're a girl."
Wow!
Got his cigar out of his mouth.
All I know is I want no dames or broads or little missies mucking up our whole boys club.
And I like that this movie is up for the challenge of about any random violent scene where people get killed, where they're like, we might not have the budget for a lot of things that are on fire, whether it's caused by the humans or the monster, but we're going to make it work, and we're going to try to make it happen through some effects and editing.
Let's get it together. We got a date with...
Oh.
That's one way. Okay. What? Alright, I'll give that dude this. That was the happiest man with a flamethrower I've ever seen. That would be me with a flamethrower. Just, he was just like so in his element.
They are telling him this is gonna look awesome when we put it together. Give your Saving Private Ryan face, like it kind of. If you put a filter over this, it looks like an old Sega CD game.
It does actually.
You're probably wondering if they actually.
I just love how
fight in the
incomprehensible the editing is. Like you can't tell what's going on because they have to keep cutting away from the monster.
That's again. That's
people
why the
walk
humans
in
keep
from
getting
random
snatched.
directions.
Oh yeah, and the monsters do too. When the ape actually fights the monster, it is an hour and 18 minutes into the movie. And it's a 90-minute film, but when you take the credits away, it's probably about 80 minutes.
It still moves faster than most modern Godzilla movies, so...
That's true. At least this one's snatching people up beforehand. Here's what it kind of looks like when they get to the fight.
Back here.
My man. That
makes me want to play Rampage or King of the Monsters. Did you ever see that game?
Yes.
I had like one of those like everybody when they were a kid had the rich asshole friend, and like they owned like some super system that was
the Neo Geo.
Yeah, I had a friend who like owned a Neo Geo, so whenever I go over his house, I was like, "Oh, you should see his latest game. It only cost me like $800." And like King of the Monsters was like one of them. Yeah. And like I just remember that game was so much fucking fun. But that's what that reminds me of. I'm like.
You can kind of consider this to be
only
like
a mild graphics upgrade, really.
Yeah. Plot-wise, it's like this is closer to the game. I mean, humans don't turn into monsters in this, like in the game. But as far as Rampage goes, it's like this is sort of closer to the game than the Dwayne Johnson movie was. The Dwayne Johnson movie is a better movie than this. But the ape does end up winning the battle because, like Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, for God's sake!
Not that that's how that movie ended, but in Kong versus Godzilla, King Kong was certainly more so the protagonist of it, I guess, for the most part. It's the same way in this too. But in this ends by showing that Abraham the ape wins because of patriotism.
Wait. They can call him Abraham.
I was thinking that'd be the whole movie. This is Michael Bay's reel on like his audition to direct Kong vs. Godzilla. Oh, and he's randomly there now.
From sea to shining sea.
I love that.
Patriotism swells in the heart of the American ape.
That's the ending. The
Wow.
movie is, again, it's talkier than, I mean, I've seen Asylum mockbusters that are more talky than this, but this is one of the very talky ones. But it does sprinkle in things that I showed you right there that will get a laugh and kind of suck you back into it. Even some of the dialogue scenes, whether it's the Southern cigar-smoking general or Eric Roberts cracking up in the background. Again, I did think the movie was fun, but I hear that's one of the side effects of having the second dose, which again I had today. So maybe I would have said something for yesterday.
This is all part of the vast Fauci conspiracy.
Yeah.
So, it's getting you to like movies like this. This is how it starts, and then the next thing you know, China runs us!
I don't even need a shot for that, really. Like, I get some of these movies I kind of just enjoy on their own. The shot just, you know...
Brad, what I'm telling you is this movie was bred in a Wuhan lab!
They didn't have
this whole episode goes pure conspiracy theory.
They didn't, because they didn't have a tight enough door like the movie showed.
I hope some bot
doesn't
doesn't pick up us saying Wuhan and go. Brad's like, why has this been demonetized? I don't understand.
I'll bleep it. It'll make it look like we're saying something way worse. So, how would you rate this movie?
Didn't wreck my day.
Yeah.
But it didn't make it better either. I think this is a perfect neutral response. I have no strong feelings one way or the other. I can say this, it wasted my time. I didn't need to come over to see this.
Yeah, I showed you the best part.
Except to see you and your fine apartment, and clearly that wasn't worth it.
Lloyd.
So, well, Lloyd was worth it. We all like Lloyd. You, on the other hand. It was a waste of time. I've seen worse things. I've seen way better.
Same. When it was over, it was sort of like, well, I didn't ruin my day. I got some laughs. I'll try to remember it a few weeks later. Right. Ape versus Monster. Again, you got it right there on your TV if you didn't make it out to theaters and if you don't have HBO Max.
We need to stop this from happening again. Why do I keep coming over here? Next time you call, I'm just ghosting you.